Have you ever paused to wonder why fear can feel so permanent, like a shadow that stretches across every part of your day, whispering that you're not ready, not safe, not enough? We build routines, checklists, and comfort zones in hopes of banishing that shadow, but somehow it still creeps into our thoughts, turning every unknown into a looming threat. Yet, far beyond the swirl of our worries, the wild offers a different narrative, one of creatures who live amidst real danger, unpredictability, and vast openness, but whose existence is not defined by their fears. Instead, they move with focused courage, fluid collaboration, and an expansive vision that carries them across mountains, oceans, and skies. Today, let us journey into the high crags, the deep seas, and the limitless skies to learn from three masters of fearless living: the mountain goat, scaling sheer cliffs without hesitation; the dolphin, forging deep bonds that buoy its confidence; and the wandering albatross, soaring in perfect freedom above endless oceans. In their stories, we find the Freedom Code, a map for living without fear, grounded in courage, community, and boundless perspective. Mountain goats, scaling your personal summits. Picture a rugged mountainside bathed in early morning light, the air crisp with the promise of sunrise. There, clinging to a sheer precipice, stands a mountain goat, hooves balanced on outcrops no wider than your finger, gaze fixed against the distant peaks. At any misstep, gravity would claim it, yet the goat moves with the calm certainty of one who knows each quartz ridge and granite crevice as extensions of its own body. Mountain goats embody focused courage. They do not assault the cliff face with blind force. They assess each ledge, test each hold, and place each hoof with deliberate precision. Their sure-footed climbs are not reckless stunts, but acts of profound trust. In their bodies, their instincts, and the path unfolding before them. We, too, face our own towering challenges, ambitious goals, daunting conversations, life changes that threaten to knock us off balance. Like the mountain goat, we can cultivate the courage to climb by focusing on each small step rather than the entire ascent. When the peak seems unreachable, we narrow our gaze to the next solid handhold, preparing, practicing, and placing ourselves with mindful confidence. Imagine your own cliff face, perhaps a career leap or a personal fear that has kept you on flat ground. What if you approached it the goat's way, testing your next step, acknowledging each success, and trusting that your strength will carry you steadily upward? In that focused courage, fear loses its power to paralyze, replaced by the exhilaration of progress. Dolphins, the strength of connected flow. Now dive into the warm embrace of a coastal lagoon, where a pod of bottlenose dolphins glides through crystalline water in seamless synchrony. They leap in unison, arcs of silver beneath the sun, and at every turn, they echo each other's clicks and whistles, a living network of communication and care. Bottlenose dolphins practice connected flow. They hunt cooperatively, herding schools of fish into tight circles. They escort injured companions to the surface, ensuring they breathe. They even form alliances with humans in places where their curiosity bridges two worlds. In their fluid intelligence, each dolphin knows its role, trusts in the collective, and moves with the confidence that comes from being part of something greater than itself. In our human lives, we often tackle our fears alone, afraid to show vulnerability, convinced that needing others is a weakness. Yet the dolphins remind us that true freedom thrives in community. When we share our anxieties, collaborate on solutions, and offer kindness in return, we create currents of mutual support that carry us over the roughest waters. Think of the next challenge you face. Who can you include in your pod? Friends, mentors, colleagues, who will listen with empathy, guide you with insight, and celebrate your leaps alongside you. In the strength of connected flow, every fear is met not in isolation, but in the reassuring presence of those who swim beside us. Wandering albatrosses, soaring beyond your horizons. Finally, lift your eyes to the wide-open sky over the Southern Ocean, where the wandering albatross spreads its wings, spanning almost 12 feet from tip to tip, and launches into a silent ballet of effortless glide. For months at a time, this magnificent bird rides unseen wind currents, traveling tens of thousands of miles between feeding grounds and remote breeding islands. The albatross practices boundless perspective. It does not flap against every gust, nor cling to safe harbors when storms arise. Instead, it senses the subtlest thermal drafts, trusting the wisdom of invisible winds and the guidance of its own ancestral memory. In every long circuit it makes around the globe, the albatross demonstrates that freedom lies in seeing beyond immediate boundaries, in trusting in the unseen forces that lift us higher. We too can feel confined by our familiar surroundings, our careers, our comfort zones, the limits of our own imagination. The albatross teaches us to expand our view, to set goals that feel far beyond our reach, to learn to recognize and harness the currents of opportunity, and to trust that even the wildest storms can become passages to new heights. When you feel trapped by your own horizons, imagine unfolding your wings like the albatross, lifting your gaze to the boundless sky, and finding the currents that will carry you toward possibilities you once thought impossible. In the mountain goat's unwavering ascent, in the dolphin's synchronized grace, and in the albatross's soaring expanse, we discover three pillars of a life without fear. Focused courage, taking each step with mindful confidence rather than racing for the summit. Connected flow, embracing the strength of community and shared purpose rather than facing challenges alone. Boundless perspective, trusting unseen currents and daring to set our sights on horizons beyond our comfort zone. This is the Freedom Code, a triad of insights that shows us, again and again, that fear is not a final verdict, but a signal to act with courage, to lean on others, and to expand our view. Pause now and feel the gentle beating of your heart, your body's reminder that you are alive, capable, and ready for whatever comes next. Recall a moment when fear tightened its grip, perhaps a decision you postponed, an ambition you left unpursued, or a conversation you avoided. Ask yourself, how can I channel the mountain goat's focus, narrowing my attention to the next step rather than the entire climb? Who can I invite into my own pod, friends, mentors, allies, so that I navigate life's currents in the company of trust and support? Where in my life can I broaden my perspective, setting a distant vision that inspires courage to rise above immediate constraints? Let these questions settle in your awareness, softening the hold of doubt and inviting a new sense of possibility to take root. When we integrate the lessons of the mountain goat, the dolphin, and the albatross into our everyday lives, we unlock a power that does not roar but whispers with unwavering confidence. We learn to step boldly on cliffs of change, to swim shoulder to shoulder with kindred spirits, and to soar toward horizons we once thought beyond our reach. So the next time fear speaks its loudest, remember to take that mindful step, trusting your footing. Reach out for a fellow traveler, trusting your shared strength. Lift your gaze to the sky, trusting the unseen winds that carry you forward. In these acts of focused courage, connected flow, and boundless perspective, you will discover that freedom is never truly out of reach. It lives within you, waiting to be awakened by the ancient wisdom of the wild. And the mountain goat, the dolphin, and the albatross, they continue to roam, to swim, and to soar, their lives weaving a timeless freedom code that guides us all, if only we dare to follow.